1, 2. Now
2.
spit a verse, kid. Now spit a hot something.
I'm the Baltimore bad guy like the old Georgetown Hoyer. Gun for hire, equal opportunity
Oh.
employer. Hip-hop's grimy star and I'm prepared to spar. I'm a long-distance nigga and I can take rap far. Now remember the famine he experienced in this game. Out here co-signing cowards and lusting after lames. Now Omar got a plan to breathe life back in it. See, I'ma flip it and spin it for a small percentage. This,
you was in the zone. What happened?
I don't know. It's been a minute.
Like, hold
I
up.
went and looked at those rhymes today. I was going through some old
What
pictures.
are those rhymes from?
When I told you when Jay was gonna
When Jam Master Jay was gonna make Michael K. Williams a rapper.
Not Michael K. Williams, Omar Little.
So
it was
Omar.
all in character. It was all in character. That's what I said when I
That was
left
one
the
of the
studio.
raps?
That was one of the raps.
Wow.
I think that was that came afterwards. But yeah, that was one of the earlier songs after. I tell you.
And who wrote that rap?
My brother Derek Pridgeon, man,
Derek.
up in the Bronx. Yeah, man.
And
Shout out
Jam
to Derek,
Master Jay was
DP.
on the.
Actually, no.
No.
The thing was he was going. Remember I told you the story when
I know.
and
This was a
don't worry
while
about
ago.
it. But this was after his death. I went and got Derek. I said, listen, let's get back. Let's finish this dream. And
that we started.
we made some more music. That was one of the songs that came afterwards. But some of the earlier stuff that we did prior to his death was probably. I probably want anyone to hear those.
They were terrible.
They were bad.
They were
They were
terrible.
horrible. They were bad.
And they were all as Omar.
Yeah, all
as
in
Omar.
character. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
all in character.
Wow. Okay, so this is kind of part 2 because we have by the way, Michael K. Williams is my guest today. Now, the last time he was here, he was telling me about this new show on this new network that was getting ready to launch, Viceland. And now I've seen it, and I was like, "Yo, you gotta come back because it's so fucking good. It's so good, man."
Thank you.
If
sis.
you haven't seen it yet, it's on Viceland, which clearly has launched, and people are digging the channel's so good, right?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
watch
really-
it a lot?
I watch it a lot. Actually, my favorite show is Weedicket, and the discoveries of how weed is helping to people with cancer, and it's so informative to me. That's one of my
Weedicket is
favorites.
good.
Yeah.
Gay Nation is really good too.
Yeah,
they
man.
do
Shout out
a
to
great
Ellen Page.
job
Yeah, it's,
on that.
it's
And
fun.
then of course Michael's show is Black Market.
Yeah, we going around the world, and we just we giving people a microphone. People who normally would not get a microphone. We just
Right.
asking them how you living
And why?
and why.
Mhm.
And the majority of the reason why is usually some sort of poverty and what they're doing, desperation,
Yeah.
and lack of opportunity. Those are usually the whys, and the whats are like 99% illegal. So there's this black market that forms. When your back's against the wall, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. You do it so well too, because you could tell it's like it's one thing to go into like somebody's black market world and be an interviewer or whatever, but you do it with like no judgment.
Well, I can't have judgment because I've been there. A lot of these stories, a lot of the things that affect these people's lives, I fell prey to from one point or another. I know what it's like. I'm a first generation of Bahamian. My mother's side of the family is from the Bahamas, and getting your green card was a big thing in my family. Still is.
Mhm.
And we did whatever we had to do to get that green card, and so that was a form of black market that I understood. In this last episode, these kids in the projects, man, they, you selling whatever you can. I remember, giving my apartment up to a local dealer to get some dough on the side, my little studio apartment. I remember my mother hustling and selling things out of her closet in the living room closet on the weekends, like things that would fall off the back of the truck at the job.
Right.
You know what I mean? We opened up store trying to survive.
Yeah.
Black market, man.
Yeah.
So these stories affect me personally.
Mm-hmm. The couple that stand out the most to me is, well, first of all, you did an ill piece on lean.
Yeah.
Which you guys should all check out. And again, with no judgment or no maybe you don't want to drink so much. But it's the dope thing is that you really get to see more when you do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't got their guards up. They don't feel like they're being judged. It's just the truth. It's just
it is the
honest,
truth. It is what it is. And
yeah.
and I'll tell you two things about that lean episode. That was the turning point for me. Up until that point, I was like, I had my OCD actors, like, I'm going to come in and control the situation and know my dialogue, my lines, what's my motivation,
Right.
all that shit. And none of that crap worked, right?
Right.
So
Because you were too stiff,
it was
probably.
and it was fake. It wasn't
Right.
real, but I'm trying to grasp
You
my
were trying
mind.
to be like a TV host, like
I
an
didn't know what the
anchor,
hell I was
like a
trying to
news
be, Ange.
anchor.
I was, whatever I was trying to be, I sucked at it. That was number one because it wasn't real.
Right.
And I asked a very generic question to this brother. I said, so I'm looking through my notes and whatnot. And oh yeah, so who inspired you, young man? And how did you get into the culture? This dude looked at me and was like, "Excuse me, bro. I created this," and I was talking to one of the legends of the lean and chop and screw community. And I put my head down because I got chin checked, and there was nothing else to say but apologize, which I
Right.
did. And I said, and I made a joke about it. I said, man, in my defense, you look like a baby with this, good black don't crack. You look like a 25-year-old kid.
Right.
How would I know you a grown ass man? But at that point, I stopped trying to be something I wasn't. I said, Mike, you ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Let's face it, and you know that. So let the audience see who you really are, and let these people see you learn. The dumbest question is the one you don't ask. And I started just letting these people invite me into their lives and stop trying to manipulate a situation. And when that happened, when I let go, all these beautiful moments started happening. People received me,
I could tell.
organically.
Yeah.
And another thing with the lean, that particular episode was because we all know the tabooism that surrounds that culture, right? But the irony of it is,
There's a beauty to where it comes from, right?
yeah, there's a beauty to it. It's part of their culture, and it didn't really get out of hand until it left Texas. When you started hearing about it in the music, and people were misusing, the part of the culture, it became ostracized and demonized. But when they started it, it was just a way of life, and no one was really dying from it. And it started.
That was a dope one. And then there was an episode where you were in Chicago, and one of the guys that you talked to who was, living in the streets, living that gun life, and it was crazy because at the end of the show, he didn't make it. And so it was wild to watch you interview him and watch and kind of understand that he was scared and not just understand his place, and then to see that he didn't make it was really powerful to see that. And
that is probably
sad.
the closest I'll ever be to knowing what you deal with in your job, Angie. Over the years, all the people that you've interviewed that are no longer here, the people that you've been in some of these same rooms that I'm sitting in right now.
Yeah.
So you know what it's like to that was the closest and talking to people and finding out where they're at, whether it's musically, entertainment wise, or personally. You're part of that culture, and so I got a taste of what you've been doing for the last 20 some odd years, basically, to interview someone who let me in their lives, and they didn't even make it to see themselves on this show, man. It was like they predicted their own demise. It was crazy, and it affected me, man. Chicago. Man, I love y'all. And shout out to the Chi-Town, man. If anybody listened to this interview, if no one told you they love you today, let me be the first. Michael K. Williams loves Chicago, bro. Stand up. Rep your city. Word up.
That was so powerful, man. It's so ill, and that kid lost his life. But also, I feel like anybody who would see that show would be also affected by his life, and maybe see some sort of reflection of how this can end.
Well, I'm not waiting for that. Black Viceland came back at me, and we're releasing something it's going to be releasing soon. It's called Black Market Dispatches. In fact, you're hearing it here first.
Wow.
You're getting exclusive, and there's some follow-up stories. That's going to be most of the stuff that you're going to see now are new people talking about new black markets around the world. But there's going to also be, I really advocated to get a follow-up situation on some of the people that you're going to see, that you've seen already in this first season, and do a where are they now? Like, what happened when we turned our cameras off of you in the year that I met you until now that it's come on television? What has happened? Has your situation gotten worse? Has it improved?
A follow-up, yeah.
Follow-up, man. And we, we're in the process of putting that together.
Man, if you haven't seen it yet, it's not too late. You could go watch them. Sometimes I DVR it, so I watch them when I can, and they're all like on my thing. But you can do them on demand too, right? Or can you?
You could do it on demand. You can actually do it on YouTube. And a shout out to Spike Jones, man. I loved what he did by putting it out just basically online. He said this network is not about the numbers, because at first, I don't know if people realized it, but you can actually see the episode on YouTube before it was even airing on the actual network.
Wow.
Yeah, and they did that to make sure, not every carrier has Viceland, the network, and everybody can afford cable, but everybody can get access to whatever phone or smartphone and just watch it, whatever you can get the content.
Yeah.
And shout out to Spike Jones for making it accessible for everybody.
So dope. Dope. Okay, so now he got this one show that's phenomenal on TV. Then this motherfucker got the nerve to have 2 shows that are both phenomenal on TV at the same time. So then I was like, I knew you was in this HBO show, The Night Of, and I'm gonna be all the way honest. I only watched it because I was like, oh, Mike's show, let me watch it, right? So that's why I went to it. I had no expectation. I didn't even know what it was about.
Yeah.
But you ain't even in the first episode or 2.
Nah.
So. But I was so hooked already that I was like, I forgot that I was watching it for you and got so hooked in the show. But it's so well done. It's so dope. And your character is crazy.
Man, shout out to everybody.
And this is like
Riz Ahmad, who plays Nas. Shout out to my brother, man.
Not Nas the rapper,
Not Nas the rapper.
His character's name is Nasir.
Yeah.
And the show, I don't even want to tell y'all too much, except that this is a highly recommended must-see kind of TV show, because
that means a lot coming from you.
I've been telling everybody, right, Books? I've been on everybody in this, I'm making everybody watch the show.
Man, thank you.
Every now and then I get a show that, what pisses me off is it's not like the Viceland show that you could watch it, you have to wait every Sunday.
Yeah.
This shit is annoying.
Yeah.
I'm ready to watch the next episode, and it's not on yet.
It's a it's a whodunit. It's a murder mystery. It's definitely a whodunit, but
not like anyone we've ever seen.
No, because what it does simultaneously is it takes a look at our judicial system. I'm trying to be all educated here.
Nah, but it does, because it showed me a lot of things about jail that I didn't even know were happening.
A lot.
I know a lot about I've been educating myself on this topic for a few years. So there were even some things that I saw that I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. So even that and how the system, it sets people up. If you have no money.
There you go. If
you have no money and you have no voice, it's almost impossible for you to defend yourself against the charge.
That's my plight right now with all that's going on in the media, because I'm not going to sit there and say that race does not play a part in all the things that we see. I believe that a lot of that stuff is a smokescreen to keep our focus off of what's really at hand here, which is, to me, we can't never forget that it has always been about class. Green is the number one color in this country, always has been and always will be, and we can't forget that, some of this stuff, I'm not going to say that racism does not real. You would not hear me say that,
right.
But the same token, I do also recognize that this class war, this classification thing, this you're innocent until proven poor, that's real. Yeah. That's real also. You got the right, this in this country, you got the right political contact and the right amount of paper. You literally can get away with murder. Mm-hmm. That's no joke. And we've seen a lot of our brothers and sisters who don't have the proper legal our representation get railroaded. And with saying that, I just sat down with the Legal Aid Society, man, and shout out to those brothers and sisters who don't get paid to really. A lot of them really do care. And I've been doing a lot of work with them to find out how can we better educate our little kids, man, our brothers and sisters and our children, so they can better equip themselves when they deal with when these situations occur. We know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to go all there with it, but shout out to those to the legal aid lawyers who really care,
who put the work in.
Yeah, because they ain't getting paid. They not getting rich. They not working for no law firm. They do what they do because they care. So shout out to them.
Anyway, I don't want to confuse you and make it feel like the show is like super like political, but it's just super smart and puts you on to game and how things really are with the system and it's crazy. But beyond that, it's just an ill story.
Thank you.
Like the story is ill. And then I was looking at the credits, and James Gandolfini was the executive producer.
Yeah. He was slated to play, I believe, the lawyer.
Which is Tony Soprano, by the way, for those of you that might not know.
Yeah, God bless him. God bless his family.
So this was a project he had before he passed?
Yes. I believe this was his pet project, actually. And I believe he was slated to play the lawyer that John Turturro is doing an amazing job
He
with
is
right
amazing.
now.
But Gandolfini also would have been amazing too.
I mean, you can't
different.
lose. It would have been a win-win.
Yeah.
For us, as an audience, we couldn't have lost either way. But yeah, man, this was his pet project, and so was Steven Zellian. Steven Zellian wrote Schindler's List, man. He's an amazing writer. Then you got Richard Price from The Wire, and all. I mean, I can't. His credits go just crazy. The writing is where it always starts for me. So the reason why I believe this project, aside from the performances, is so epic is because the research that went into the writing was so epic. And shout out to Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Tretch is in it. Wait, there's somebody else. Oh, Brand Nubians.
Lord Jamal.
Is in it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my brothers, man. For coming and rocking with us.
Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers always plays a good criminal for some reason.
Yeah, he do.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he does that well. There's a couple of little cameos in there, and all just really good. Anyway, the Night of HBO, Viceland is Black Market.
Black Market, yeah.
And there's another show. What's your other show? Isn't there another show that's happening or coming? I just saw something.
But I will drop a little jewel, man.
Okay, give me.
Just look out for Dr. Dre and your boy. Just look out for
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Shout out to Aftermath and the people over there.
What are you doing?
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm giving you some first here, Angie, because I love you.
Is this like a film movie thing? Okay.
Just look out. There's some stuff coming down the pike with Dr. Dre.
Did you just meet him recently?
It's done.
Talking?
It's finished. We shot it.
Oh,
it's shot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's all you can say.
That's all I can say right now.
That's
but yeah,
terrible.
This is my first time even talking about it. This is what I'm mentioning about it.
The speculation begins now. All right, then the Ghostbusters. There was the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Leslie Jones, man. We love Leslie.
I hate what they did to Leslie Jones.
What? Put all that money in her pocket and made her international superstar?
Yeah. Besides that,
because if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, nigga.
Word.
So
I love that they put all that money in her pocket.
Yeah.
I love that she's a star.
And she ain't jaded. They can't break her spirit. Trust me.
I hate that they came for her the way they came for her to the point that she was affected. I mostly hate that she was affected by negativity to the point where she wanted to supposedly shut her social media down because who the hell wants to deal with that shit? I get it. I understand why she would feel like that, but I hate that we live in a world where they would do something to somebody that talented like that based on what?
Yeah.
Based on what?
Well, we all know that this has been here. But anyway, we're gonna focus on the positive, man.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Ghostbusters was phenomenal. She's phenomenal, man. She's doing her thing.
If you're watching, I would love to have you on the show and talk to you about it.
And Leslie, I miss you, baby. I miss you, man. We're overdue for our little we used to rendezvous in the alleyway of the hotel.
What did you do?
I can't tell you what we used to do with me.
What was happening in the alleyway?
I miss you, Leslie. I need some alley time with my baby.
Goodness.
So you ain't got time for your little brother and your big brother no more?
Something was going down.
I love me some Les, man. That's my sis.
Michael and I had a great night. We were in Los Angeles the night of the BET Awards when Jesse Williams got on that stage and did what he did at the BET Awards, right?
Yes.
So after he did that and everybody was like, oh, then we partied that same night.
Yes, we did.
We were at the Conga Room
Yes,
in
we
LA.
did. Yeah, shout out to Erykah Badu was spinning.
Erykah Badu was DJing. Dave Chappelle, me, you, Tasha Smith.
Yep. We're getting ready to work together tomorrow.
I love her.
We're doing we're playing husband and wife in a new Wyclef Jean video.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Jimi Hendrix. I think that's the name of the.
You're dropping all types of information today.
Only you. Only you. I feel like we're in the living room.
You should absolutely do that. But that night was such a special, not only because we was with a great, amazing group of people, right? But just the energy in the air and Jesse having that moment at the BET Awards was like, I don't know, super special.
It was excellence. That night was sheer excellence, right down to I mean every aspect of that night. That day was actually just sheer excellence. I came from San Francisco, flew straight from San Fran, having been asked to be the Grand Marshal in the gay parade down there. Flew right from there.
How come you? Why you?
Because of this. I just did a mini series that I just finished. It's going to be on ABC in February. It's called When We Rise. It's based on 4 people, it's a biography. And I play Ken Jones, who man, he was on the front line. He fought in our Navy. He was on the front line of the Civil War.
And he was gay.
Openly gay man. He was at the forefront of the whole HIV/AIDS scene in San Francisco, and he was told he had 30 days to live, and he's 65 and fabulous, as he says today. So anyway, he's in San Francisco. He's on the board there, and while I was filming this, he and I came really close. Me portraying him, and he said, Michael, the committees, they've been like begging me to ask you, would you mind being? And I was like, you know what? I thought about it. Then after what happened in Orlando, I said, this feels right.
Dope.
This feels right, and the timing was perfect. And so I flew from that. Came straight to L.A. My man Joseph Badu is spinning, and I took a shower, came straight there, and then to see you and Rhonda, man, it was just like
it was a good night.
That was a great night, man.
I didn't even know you were coming up off of all of that too. That's
you turned the corner like, yo, honey, guess who's here?
That's amazing. That's great. That was a good night.
That was a great night. It was beautiful. I know the love that I received that day it was electrifying. San Francisco is a beautiful, vibrant city. A lot of passion.
So good.
Yeah.
So Michael K. Williams blessed me with his amazing voice and read the intro to my audiobook, which is getting ready to drop. I just finished it, so it'll be out in a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks.
And
what an honor it was to have your voice.
Well, the honor was
book.
all mine.
Stop.
You know how I look at you. Even though we family, I don't get it twisted. You are part of hip hop royalty. And so when when certain people, when they call you answer, you're like, your calls to me is like I equate them with my Michael Jackson call.
Shut up, stop.
No, when have I ever told you no, bro? When you call, I make it happen. No, if Angie needs me there, I need to make that happen.
Yeah.
So, to hear, when I went in the studio and you picked out the parts that you wanted me to read, in particularly the Tupac interview, I can't tell you, how moving that was. As a kid back then, we were all young when it was going down, and I was like, outside looking into the window. I wasn't in the house, but I was definitely looking in the window of that house, and it felt like, oh wow, them niggas is crazy. But now, I'm 50 years old, coming up in November, and I could, I got kids 24, 25 years old, so I'm like, oh wow, that doesn't. I hear Tupac and how much pain he was in, how angry he was, how much passion and potential was there in this 24-year-old young man. And I look at him, I'll be like, damn, what if that was my son? And he's not here no more, and then to hear how you being this little baby girl and, and what
trying to act grown.
We were all trying to act grown. That was the, but that was the, but Joe were out there on the forefront, speaking for our culture. I wasn't at that time. I was taking my cue off of what y'all was showing us. And as a grown man now, being part of this culture, I'm being blessed to be part of this culture that raised me. I look back at that interview and I was like, it's frightening to know that, I hope that we just never forget where we came from, because I don't ever want to repeat that again. I don't want to lose no more kings, no more young kings the way we lost Biggie and Tupac and Jay. Word. I don't want that no more. We need to value our prophets, our hip hop prophets, man, and support them more. But just those words, man, and you being just a little girl in that situation, you held it down.
Thank
you held it down.
Oh, thank you so much. I did it. The audio part too was ill too, because you read it, you get back. It forces you takes you back to all those moments. Yeah. So I had like reading it myself back for the audio. I had like mad moments. Like, this is crazy.
It's crazy. Crazy.
But yes, Michael K. Williams blessed me, and because J. Cole wrote the foreword and Mike did the read J. Cole's part, which was amazing.
Shout out to J. Cole, brother.
Good words, right?
Shout out to that brother, no doubt.
He's dope.
Man, respect for him.
All right, so the Night of HBO.
No doubt.
The Black Market,
Viceland, and coming soon. We about to drop the B-sides. It's called the Dispatches. Black Market Dispatches coming at you. I think next week. You know what I mean? But stay tuned for
with
dates.
Dr. Dre. We don't know what,
but it's coming.
Something happening.
It's coming. Shout out to the big homie, man, Dr. Dre.
Michael K. Williams, everybody. Let's get it. It's 5151.